Atlus is cooking, and if you are a fan of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei and are excited for the upcoming Metaphor ReFantazio, then you are in for a treat. From an upcoming announcement for Persona 5 The Phantom X, to the suspicious leaking of achievement info on Steam database hinting at 2 remasters of some of the most beloved Shin Megami Tensei titles, to an update pertaining to Persona 1 and 2 remakes, Metaphor info, and more, we've got a lot to cover here, so smash that like button as we dive deep into all the massive things going on with Atlus. Before we jump into this info, Atlus's largest game in Metaphor ReFantazio is releasing in just a few weeks, and if you'd like to have a chance at playing the most complete edition of the game for free, consider participating in my giveaway of the title. All details are linked in the description. 2024 has been an incredible year for Atlus, with Persona 3 Reload becoming the fastest selling Persona game to date, and with the recent release of Episode Aegis capping off that game, the free-to-play Persona 5 The Phantom X in Asia has been a smash hit, elevating the Persona franchise to new heights and introducing the series to millions of new players. Shin Megami Tensei had its fastest selling game ever in Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, and Atlus's brand new game in Metaphor ReFantazio seeks to establish an entirely new third pillar to round out Atlus's incredible JRPG legacy. Jumping straight into a title we've heard plenty about, but one that much of the world doesn't currently have access to, we have an update regarding Persona 5 The Phantom X, a successful free-to-play game that is only currently available in China, Taiwan, and South Korea. Confirmed to be shown at the upcoming Tokyo Game Show from September 26th to the 29th, it is expected we will learn more about this PC and mobile free-to-play title and hopefully get an update regarding its Japanese and global release plans at this event. While there has been very little said about bringing the title to Japan and to other regions, we have had previous insider remarks suggesting so, and even Sega stating in its latest financial report that future expansion in Japan and global is under consideration for the title. Hopefully we will learn more about global plans for the Phantom X, as I have heard great things about it, but let me know if you're interested in giving this title a shot if it gets a global release in the future. Sticking with Persona, we have a brief statement to go over regarding Personas 1 and 2 and the rumors of potential remakes happening for those older titles. In an interview with Gamespot largely discussing the enhancements made to Persona 3 Reload's Episode Aegis, Persona producer Kazuhisa Wada responded to a question regarding plans for a remake of Personas 1 and 2, where the producer remarked, "It is not on my schedule right now." He concluded with, "I would like to do it someday." So rumors of Persona 1 and 2 remakes started running rampant shortly following the release of Persona 3 Reload, when now defunct yet still reliable insider Midori remarked that remakes or remasters for Personas 1 and 2 exist at Atlus. Now, both Midori's and Wada's statements leave us with very little to go on, other than the fact that while we may not see remasters or remakes of Persona 1 and the Persona 2 duology anytime soon, that Atlus is interested in seeing these games resurface in the future. I mean, think about it. Atlus just released a remake of Persona 3, and regardless of whether or not you enjoyed it, the game is the most successful Atlus game yet, and since we're in an era where remakes and remasters are exceedingly common, remakes of Personas 1 and 2 are inevitable at this point. Looking back to 2 years ago when Atlus asked Persona and Shin Megami Tensei fans which games they'd like to see get remade, the Persona 2 duology, followed closely by Persona 1 and Persona 4, are at the top of the list following Persona 3, so Atlus not capitalizing on seeing these remakes come to fruition would be a big misstep. The Persona series is much more popular now than where it was when Persona 3 and Persona 4 released almost 2 decades ago, so remakes of Personas 2 and 1 just make sense here to introduce even more people to these often forgotten games. With Midori also claiming that Persona 4 is getting a remake years into the future, I wouldn't be surprised to see every Persona outside of Persona 5 get a remake, but let me know in the comments which Persona game you'd like to see get a remake the most. Speaking of more remakes remakes and remasters, we now shift our focus to the Shin Megami Tensei series, as some fascinating things have been happening over on Steam, with Atlus apparently adding and then immediately deleting achievements within the Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD remaster. Here are the now deleted achievements that were added to the title, and if any of you are familiar with the SMT series, you may notice that some of these achievements, especially those relating to the names Raido and Raiho, refer to some exceedingly rare and beloved PS2 Shin Megami Tensei titles, causing speculation that the duology in SMT Devil Summoner Raido Kuzunoha versus the Soulless Army and its sequel SMT Devil Summoner 2 Raido Kuzunoha versus King Abaddon may get HD remasters or remakes at some point soon. Referring back to the Atlus remake and remaster survey, we see these Devil Summoner games coming in at number 5, so of course Atlus is well aware that there is considerable demand for these beloved games, and maybe, just maybe, these accidental achievement drops have something to do with these games seeing a remaster. Fingers tightly crossed here, as this is all just speculation, but seeing as Atlus will be having a big presence on the show floor at the upcoming Tokyo Game Show later this month, I am really hoping we see something regarding a remaster of these two titles. Even before Midori removed himself from social media, the insider claimed that a remaster title would be coming, a title removed from SMT5 since we got SMT5 Vengeance. Now, let me know in the comments if you'd like to see these PS2 Devil Summoner games get remasters, because I know I certainly would. I never finished them when they got released digitally on PSN for the PS3 back in 2014, but I would be thrilled to check out these games again should they receive a remaster. Again, fingers tightly crossed with this one, but hopefully we'll learn more about these titles and a potential remaster in the coming weeks. One such game that we won't have to cross our fingers tightly for, and one that is confirmed to be present at the upcoming Tokyo Game Show, is none other than Atlus's third pillar rounding out the Atlus JRPG trifecta, Metaphor ReFantazio. Now, we don't need to cross our fingers with this one at all, my friends, because this game is just plain simply gonna be great. I can vouch for the first 3 hours of the game that I was fortunate enough to play, and they were as gripping a 3 hours as any of the Persona games have been, featuring a combat system that perfectly blends both Persona and Shin Megami Tensei elements, while making it entirely unique with its focus on introducing light, real-time action elements to a traditionally turn-based format. Where the Persona series has excelled was at creating a nice, intimate setting where the story takes place, whether that be Persona 3's Iwatodai, Persona 4's rural Inaba, or Persona 5's small selection of urban Tokyo streets. While in Metaphor, the story takes us all over a massive fantasy world, host to a variety of different cities and settlements, all sporting their own unique geography, with inhabitants reflecting these areas' cultures and dialects to create a world that feels truly vast and expansive. It is very much a new frontier for Atlus, deviating from more of the intimate settings of Persona and instead creating a game where the world is so vast that one cannot simply tackle all of the game's dungeons in a single playthrough, of which director Katsura Hashino confirmed earlier this year. The expansiveness translates far beyond just the massive world, however. The protagonist in Metaphor is now fully voiced, and while the protagonist doesn't have as many words to say when compared to the game's accompanying cast, having speech for the protagonist is refreshing to see in an Atlus JRPG. The archetype system in Metaphor acts more as classes or jobs, and unlike Persona, where the battle party members outside of the protagonist are only limited to one persona, the entire battle party in Metaphor can utilize the expansive archetype system, providing greater customization for all members. These archetypes not only apply certain stat variations when equipped, but also changes the weapons, abilities, and skills one possesses. Outside of battles, the calendar system is a bit more robust here in Metaphor, with travel time between destinations on the map needing to be accounted for. With the mobile base, the Gauntlet Runner, serving double duty as a hangout base and as a transportation vehicle, while in transit, the player can participate in a variety of activities like reading books and hanging out with allies to increase both social attributes and social link like friendship levels respectively, and even battle monsters along the way. Honestly, I could go on and on about how chock full of features Metaphor contains within, and if you want a detailed outline of what to expect with the game, consult this video here where I discussed my 3-hour time with the game and what to expect from it as a fan of both Shin Megami Tensei and Persona. Needless to say, Metaphor ReFantazio is such a familiar yet refreshing game to see come out of Atlus that will no doubt win over fans of both Persona and SMT, so stay tuned for some big announcements pertaining to it coming up real soon during Tokyo Game Show. Alright, as you can see by now, Atlus is cooking. We've got so many things on the horizon with the Persona series, whether it be Persona 5 The Phantom X, eventual remakes of Personas 1, 2, and 4, and with Persona 6 right around the corner. We've also got potentially more remasters of Shin Megami Tensei as well, thanks to the recent evidence of the achievement listing over on Steam. And with Metaphor releasing in a matter of weeks, 2024 will go down as the meatiest year for big-time JRPG releases in Atlus's long-running history. And the future of these 3 pillars of Atlus are looking brighter than ever before. Be sure to let me know which Atlus projects you are looking forward to the most, and join me over in this video as I document the greatness of Metaphor in my 3-hour session with the title. That's all I've got for you in this one. I'll be seeing all you good folks real soon in the next one.